Hope this thing records with no problems tonight. Cross your fingers, dot the I's. And we're going to get rolling here. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody to Wednesday night training. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here with us this evening. I'm not sure if Robert is going to get on. I've got Shawn in the room with us, and I moved him over if you have questions. But if you would, let's hold the questions to the end, and we're going to have some time. I'm going to show a couple of things in the control panel. I wasn't even going to go in the control panel tonight, but I saw a couple of things in the Facebook group that I want to go over and show a couple of little things that you can do. So we're going to do that, but tonight's focus is going to be marketing your services, marketing yourself. Who are you? Okay? What are you? What kind of business do you have? What kind of business do you present yourself as? And so as we go through that, and at the end, like I say, we're going to go through, and hopefully a couple of you ladies and or gentlemen will get on board here that have a microphone, and I'll ask you a few questions, and we'll talk and share some great things with the group tonight. But I just want to welcome everybody. Before we get started, as I do every single week, I want to invite you to join our YouTube channel at youtube.com/InstantAppWizard. And like our Facebook at facebook.com/InstantAppWizard. Also, if you'd like to get a weekly text reminder for the calls, text app call to 904-548-3411. That's app call, all one word, APPCALL, 904-548-3411. We're going to dive right into this tonight. And what I think is one of the biggest mistakes businesses make is the fact that they don't market themselves. We get so excited about selling our product. And we go out and we start trying to sell our product, and we don't even know who we are. We don't really know what we're selling because we don't know who we are. We don't understand what our company stands for. We have no mission statement. We are not really sure which direction we're supposed to go. We just grab a product and we run out on the streets and we go out and say, hey, buy everything I got. Now, we were talking in the last couple of weeks about selling a basic app. And I had a couple of emails on that this week, and I just want to cover that before we get into this, because this is important when selling yourself. Sometimes it's easier to get the sale when you're selling something someone wants without upselling them and confusing them, and then going back and doing the upsell. How many of you, and I know you've all been there, you've ordered something on from television or you ordered it online, and all of a sudden, all the upsells start coming. The guy on the other end of the phone says, okay, Mr. Miller, now that you've bought the weight set, would you like to buy the vitamins? And after the vitamins, would you like to buy the weight belts? And after you buy the weight belts, would you like to buy this? And would you like to buy this? I'm going to tell you a secret, okay? Before they try to sell you anything else, and everybody's telling me, I've been there. Before they sell you anything else, they complete the initial sale. They don't let you say no, 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 and then fall off this. They complete the initial sale. Because once they completed the initial sale, they've got something from you. Usually the upsell stuff, you either want it or you don't. And if you don't, it starts ticking you off and you say, listen, don't tell me anymore. But now that I'm a customer, and they come back, and the first thing they do is, of course, they get your address, your email address, they've got your phone number. Now, if you didn't buy it the first round, they're going to start sending you stuff in the mail. And you start thinking about, hey, man, my muscles are getting pretty good. You know, I do need some vitamins. I don't really take any vitamins. Now, let me go ahead and buy that $19.95 bottle of vitamins that they're going to put on auto purchase every month. And then next thing you know, you bought the vitamins. The next thing you know, you're going to buy the milkshakes. And then after you buy the milkshakes, you're going to buy the advanced workout book. So it kind of all works in a sequence. So just to answer those questions about When should we start upselling? After you make the initial sell. Once you have that check in pocket, once you have that credit card on file, then start working on the upsells. But so many people, they go in there and they're so excited. And trust me, I know. I understand where you're coming from because I've been there, okay? I want to make that sell and I want to collect as much money as I possibly can. If you're going to do that, you need to really know your customer, all right? And you can do it, and it's going to happen. But if you want to make a lot of sales and a whole bunch of upsells, get the sale first. So let's talk about selling yourself. If I took a poll right now, and you don't have to answer this question online here with everybody looking, okay, and nobody's looking but me, how many individual business owners in your town know what you do? If you're in a town and you've got 250 businesses, and that's a small town, how many of those 250 business owners know what you do? Now, if you live in a large town and there's probably 10,000 businesses or more, probably more, and you've been in this business for more than a month, there should be a ton of people know who you are. See, sometimes getting the sale comes after you've sold yourself. So you need to go out 2 or 3 days a week and forget about the apps. Forget about that product you have. You need to go out, introduce yourself, and pass out business cards and show people who you are. Because I can guarantee you, if I flew to your place right now and we got in the car and I said, take me to 15 businesses right now that would know who you are when you walked in the door, I would just about bet that maybe, if I'm lucky, 5% of you could do that. You say, well, wow, Kerry, that's kind of hard. Well, I don't know if you saw in the Facebook group, but I told you to put on them steel-toed slippers. Because you've got to get out and people have to know who you are. They've got to know that. If they don't know what you do, then when you walk in their place of business and introduce yourself to sell them something, then the first thing you are to them is just another salesman. Most of those business owners probably don't even know you still even live in that town. Okay? Other than the Walmart greeter that says, welcome to Walmart, and you know them because you walk in there all the time. So the first question I ask you is how many individual business owners, and I put an exclamation point up there because that's extremely important, know what you do? Let me ask you these 2 questions. How many business cards and brochures do you pass out a week? You don't have to throw it up on the screen. Just ask yourself that. And see, sometimes when I ask that question, sometimes you put stuff on the screen to satisfy me. You don't have to satisfy me. You have to satisfy yourself. Okay? You have to wake up in the morning and you have to say, man, I'm going to get out and I'm going to bust it today and I'm going to introduce myself to 50 people. I'm going to pass out 50 business cards. And I'm going to pass out 50 brochures. And Sherry, I want to thank you for posting that beautiful, absolutely gorgeous brochure on that Facebook group today. Thank you for that. How many business cards do you pass out and how many brochures do you pass out a week? Okay? Next question. How many webinars, seminars, and speeches do you do a month? Well, some of you just fell out of your chair. You're saying, well, Kerry, I don't do none of those 3 things. I've never spoke before anybody in my life. I sure don't know how to give a speech. I would never know how to do a seminar. And I don't know how to do webinars. You know what? A year and a half ago, neither did I. Didn't have a clue. I met these guys at App Wizard and said, hey, man, I like to talk. And believe it or not, I'm the most introverted, shy person you folks have ever met in your life. I'm a stay-in-the-house kind of guy. Don't get out a lot in groups. I know that sounds crazy because of what I do, but it's the truth. But you put me on a stage and give me a topic and something changes in me. And you might find out that it changes in you too. Now you're asking yourself, well, Carrie, if I went out and passed out business cards and brochures, wouldn't I want to make a sale? No. You need to set aside a time that's all you do. The biggest part of your business as a professional is letting everybody know that the expert is in their town. Because they don't want to call somebody that's not an expert. And how do they know you're an expert? How many of you have the Kiwanis Club and the Rotary Club and this club and that club and all the other clubs? And I know everybody in here. What's the name of the organization in a town that controls just about every business? Every single town has it. Matter of fact, they're a national organization. What's it called? The the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce. Okay? Chamber of Commerce. I appreciate everybody putting that up there. I was just going to see if you knew what I was talking about. The Chamber of Commerce. Let me tell you, the Chamber is always looking for people to talk. The Kiwanis Club is always looking for business members to talk. The Rotary Club is always looking for people to come in and talk. They're all business organizations. Every one of those organizations needs to have your name at the top of their list as a marketing expert, as a mobile marketing expert, as a reputation management expert, as a social media expert. Every one of those places need to have your name at the top of their list. And you need to be speaking there. And if you've never spoken in front of anybody, and I'm going to tell you this is how I learned to do it, I used to stand in front of the mirror, and I still do it to this day. My wife will walk in the bathroom sometimes and ask me, who in the world are you talking to? And sometimes I'll stand up in the middle of the living room and I'll talk to her, just like I'm giving a major speech. You have to practice. You have to learn. But the best way to do it is just get out there. Listen, if you go do it a couple of times and stumble all over yourself, you can't find your notes, okay? I've been where I've lost my notes. I don't put my notes on papers anymore. I put my notes on my iPad, and I bought a little 99-cent program that organizes my notes, and all I got to do is punch a button, and it changes to the next page. Okay. All those things I learned from my mistakes, and my mistakes is I am a terrible organizer, and I can't keep up with my notes. Webinars. You say, Carrie, have you lost your mind? It costs money to do webinars. No kidding. It costs us money to do these webinars every week. But you know why we do them? Because if you spend a little, you make a little. I have people ask me all the time, well, Carrie, brochures are about $1 a piece. Okay. So, go spend $1. So you've got to invest in your business, in yourself, in order to make money. You've got to do that. Sometimes it's okay if you use your high-speed color printer to begin with. But you'll find that there are companies out there, probably right in your hometown, that will do everything for you and the mailing for about $1 a piece. And so you say, okay, well, I'm going to set aside $100 or $200 or $150. I did a webinar. It's been about 6 months ago for all of our resellers. I want to say it was 4 days. Maybe it was 3 days. I can't remember. I think it was a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 3 or 4 times on a Saturday and 2 times or 3 times on a Sunday. It was huge, okay? And I was really disappointed, just to be frank. And the reason I was disappointed is because I knew nobody went out to invite people to those seminars, and they weren't seminars for you. They weren't webinars for you. They were webinars for your clients. But in order to make something happen, you have to get out and do it. Now, we had a couple of guys that brought several people to those webinars. And you know what was funny? They were the 2 people that showed up also. So you've got to want to build your business, but the only way you build your business is know who you are. And that's what we're going to get to on the next thing. But I want to make sure everybody, if you got a screen capture, before I change this screen, I want you to capture this screen right here. And I want you to start keeping up with that. How many business cards, brochures, how many webinars, seminars, and speeches do you do a month? Go ahead and capture it before I change it, because you've got to start doing that. You've got to be the expert, because if you're not, it's not going to be long that somebody else comes in with a little bit more pep in their step, and they're going to walk all over you as the expert. And then when you go to saying that you're the expert, and I've been in this town for 10 years, and I'm the expert, people are going to say, well, where have you been? This other guy's been here for 2 years, and man, he's raping the town here. He's got everything going on. So you've got to be the expert. Promoting a professional services company, and you are a professional service company. You're offering a business-to-business product that helps that company to grow, that helps them to build their business. But it's one of the most difficult challenges in marketing. Why? Because you have to know what you're talking about. It amazes me at the number of people that call me and they say, Kerry, how do I do this? And they're asking about putting a URL on with their website. You know, their website on their app. You click on one button and you put the URL in there and you do that. Or they'll call and say, well, boy, it'd be nice if we had this service and we've had that button in there for a year and a half. Or they call and say, Kerry, how do I build an app? And I go in and they've never built their own app. And for the majority of the people that are on here tonight, I know it's not you because you are the committed and the dedicated. Or you wouldn't be here every single Wednesday night. You're here to learn. You're here to dive in. And that's why I wanted to have this training tonight. Because I know that marketing ourselves individually usually gets put on the back burner because we're so excited about the products we have. Tonight, I'm just letting you know that you've got to start putting this in your repertoire. You've got to go in and put this in your schedule, and you've got to do this every week if you want to grow your business in massive, massive ways. This is the usual approach. In our minds, we say, we have a great company, we have a great service, I know everybody's going to come to us. How many of you know you've got a great company? And you can answer yes or no to this. Yes, yes. And you know what, Jason, I knew you'd be the first person to jump up there, buddy. Jason's a great guy, and I appreciate Jason Laporte putting the comments he does in the Facebook group. And that's right. And product. You've got the best company and you've got the best service. Don't you think everybody else wants to know that? Wouldn't you think as you sit there tonight, and I'm so grateful that you folks come in on Wednesday nights because it really makes my night. But wouldn't you think that everybody in your town needs to know that you have a great company and a great service and you're there to service them and help them and share your expertise with them to take their business to the next level? Isn't that one of the most important parts of your job? To let everybody know what you do and how you do it and how smart you are? There's nothing better than letting everybody know how smart you are. I mean, it's great. Because you're the smartest guy in the room at the moment. It's a wonderful feeling. And I'm going to tell you, I know because a lot of the folks that are in here right now are in the Facebook group, you're some of the most intelligent business people I've ever seen. I see it in your writings. And I see it in your answers. So you know the program and you know the product. But the question I have for you tonight, and this is very important, do the people around you know how good you are? Exactly, Lewis. Lewis said it the best. We need to create the awareness. Is this a great company and great service? Is that what really makes you stand out? Is that the real reason clients choose you? It's not. They don't choose you because you're a great company. They don't choose you because you've got a good service. They don't even know that. The real value And this is important for everybody on here to understand. I've got Shawn on here with me tonight, and I'm going to tell you, his value to this Instant App Wizard company, hands down, is his ability to market. He went to a seminar not too long ago in Florida, and he got a chance to stand up and talk. And let me tell you something. When he opened his mouth, it was like E.F. Hutton. He had everybody's attention because they knew he knew what he was talking about. And we have the pleasure that he's one of the owners of this company. When it comes to marketing, he's a wizard. And that's not a pun, no pun intended, but he's a wizard. He knows what he does. And that's the value of his service to this company, is his marketing ability. He has a great value of marketing. Your value of your business is your expertise. All of you have great expertise, and you're phenomenal at what you do. But if your clients, if your potential clients do not know you have that expertise, and you cannot go out and just talk to them. See, sometimes we get stuck in a sales rut. And when we get stuck in it, it almost kills us. I mean, we get swallowed up by, man, I've got to make this sell. I've got to make this sell. And so to the people out there, all you are is another salesman. You never have a chance to let them know that you're an expert in their field. Okay? You have to let them know that. You have to let them know that you're an expert. And when you sit down to the table, people listen to experts. Not only do they listen to experts, they like to pay experts a lot of money. I was watching that trial a couple of weeks ago on television, and they brought all these experts up to testify. And you know what? All they were was somebody that had knowledge in the specific area of what they were looking for. You folks have the expertise of mobile apps. You have the expertise of reputation management. You have the expertise of marketing. You have the expertise of social media. You have all these expertise, and nobody knows about it. You've got to let them know that you are the expert in your field. And you've got to set aside 2 or 3 days a week to go out and just introduce yourself. How you doing? Kerry Miller with Moby Advertising Group. I just wanted to let you know and introduce myself to show you that I'm in the area, and I am an expert in mobile marketing. And I'm also an expert in social media. I'm also an expert in SMS. And there's nothing wrong with telling somebody you're good. Because when you walk out, you know what they're going to say? Hey, that guy's good. I could tell just by listening to him. The confidence that you exude in your voice when you talk to someone has to literally shatter the glass in the room. When you walk in, you need to be like that high-pitched tone that just breaks the glass, because everybody knows you're there. You have to set your company apart by showing what you know. If people don't know that you know what you know, then they don't know what you have. If I was a car salesman, and I'm one of those guys that when I go to the car lot, I don't want a car salesman talking to me. I don't want a car salesman bothering me. When I walk into a car lot, I've already done my homework. I'm going to walk out of there with the car. You don't even have to raise the hood. 99.9% of the time, unless it's a sports car, I don't get behind the wheel. I just buy the car and I'm gone because I know exactly what I want. Okay? But I know that if I ask that guy, how do I set my Bluetooth up in this car, and he doesn't know, then I don't want him I don't want him selling me anything. I mean, if he doesn't even know how to set up the Bluetooth, see, I want the expert. I want the expert on that sports car, because when I have a question and I'm out on the road and I want to make something work, I want to pick up the phone and call him and say, hey, I can't get this connected. I can't get my phone to work. He can say, hey, Kerry, go to here, here, and here, and it'll work. You see, because he's the expert. Show them what you know. The first steps that you have to focus on, and this is very, very important. All of you have experiences, maybe not necessarily in the app industry, okay? Maybe not necessarily in the social media industry or the rep management industry, But you have experiences in your past that you can pull from to help you build on what you have now. Maybe you were a customer service rep at one time. Pull from that experience. Think back of what that customer wanted, not what you wanted them to do, but what the customer truly wanted. You see, build on those experiences. Build on your expertise. I heard an amazing stat the other day, and I'm not going to get you to throw yes or no up on this either. Did you know that 84% of the salesmen in this country have never picked up a sales book? 84% of the salesmen in this country have never picked up a sales book. They do nothing to study. They do nothing to read. They do nothing to advance themselves. That amazes me. About 90% of my time is spent reading and studying and learning and doing things to progress my knowledge as an expert. And lastly is your knowledge. Okay? If you don't take time, and you need to set aside whether it be an hour or 30 minutes or something every day to enhance your knowledge. You have to do that. You have to enhance your knowledge to get where you want to go. If you don't do that and you're talking to somebody and they find out that you don't know what you're talking about, because there are some knowledgeable people out there, okay? There are people out there that understand mobile apps because they've been approached so many times. They've never been approached by an expert, but they've got, you know, you've heard the old saying, just enough knowledge to make you dangerous. You've got just enough smarts to make you dangerous. Well, that's what happens to people. They know just enough about nothing that now they've become the expert. And you've got to break that barrier with them. You've got to show them that you are the expert. Then you need to sit down, and I hope you do this when we get off this call tonight. I hope every one of you come in the Facebook group tomorrow and say, you know what, man, I sat down and organized my week. I put everything on paper. I put everything I know down in writing. I sat behind my computer. Carrie, I can't believe you did this to me. I didn't go to bed till 3 o'clock this morning because I organized everything that I can bring to the table. I know exactly who I am. I know who my company is. I know what my mission statement is. I know exactly who I'm going to promote when I go out. I'm going to promote my company this way. People are going to know exactly who I am, what I do, and if they need anything, they've got my business card, they've got my brochure, and they'll know my name when I walk in that business. You've got to organize all that. You've got to put all that together. It's easy to get off this call tonight, okay, and sit down and do nothing. Why? It's going to be 9:30, 10 o'clock. For Chris, it's going to be 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You're going to be tired. You're going to say, man, this was a long day. That's when you have to go and dig just a little bit deeper. When you think it's time to stop, go another 30 minutes. When you think it's time to stop, give yourself another 15 and learn something. Put some earbuds in your ear and get your phone out and download an MP3 and listen to something. Listen to it when you're going to sleep and learn something new every day and put it together and know who you are. And finally, create the communication vehicles to share your knowledge. Everyone on here, being the expert in their field, should be able to communicate and share your knowledge. How about setting up a blog? You can go get a domain name for, I don't know, $12 a year or something like that. And then you can go in HostGator and you can post a WordPress blog and you can set it up in about 15 minutes. And even if you use the ugly blogs that they got there, okay, the Hello Dolly or whatever it is, okay, they've already got them set up. Just start posting your data, posting what you know. And guess what's going to start happening? That's going to start indexing in the search engines. Put a little bit of SEO in there. There's some SEO plugins. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do it, but just start putting your knowledge out there. And guess what's going to happen when you're out there and you're the expert? You're going to make sure that that blog address, RajaPineda's.com is on that brochure. And they go in there and they start reading that stuff. And they say, man, this guy knows what he's talking about. That Roger is something else. Create case studies. Show real-life solutions you've developed for your current clients' problems. How many of you have created a case study on your current clients, and you've got a sheet written out, and you've got a testimonial from them, and you've got it all on paper, and you've got it in your sales book that you can attach to a brochure that you can share that data with when someone says, well, what have you done for Jim? Does anybody have that information? Do you have a case study on how you closed that person, how you sold to that person, how you worked that person? Anybody? Develop white papers, in-depth assessments of the key issues that your clients care about. When you're talking to your clients, you really need to listen and take. And I'm not talking about when you're out selling them. I'm talking about when you're out introducing yourself and you start getting to know them. Okay? You have to assess, and I talk about this all the time, and I could probably ask, what is the first thing I say when I walk into a business? What's the first thing I say? Anybody that's been on these calls for the last 2 months, what's the first thing I say when I walk into a business? Exactly. How's business? Thank you guys for remembering that. So I guess I drilled it home. How's business? That's the first step in your case study, okay, of that person. That's the first place where you start developing that white paper that offers that in-depth assessment of your clients. And now what you can do is you can start putting that all together. Now you want to be the expert? Man, people look at that and say, golly, that guy knows exactly what I'm thinking about. He knows exactly where my brain is. Be a columnist. These small town newspapers are just dying for somebody to write something to put in their paper. They've got to have filler space. They've got to. Okay? There's not enough news around small towns from somebody in the small towns that they can write. So go out and introduce yourself to some of these small town business papers. Be their columnist. Write a column for them. It doesn't have to be long. And guess what you're doing? Your name is getting out there more and more and more. I guarantee you, everybody in here could write about 500 words a week, 1,000 words a week, and submit it to papers every single week. And you know what's going to happen? It's eventually going to get picked up. And now you keep it going, you keep it going, you keep it going. You've got your blog going. All right? You can put your blog address at the end of the column. What else is going to be in your blog? If you're blogging, what are you going to put in your blog? Anybody? If you're doing a blog, what are you going to put in your blog? Your ads. Absolutely. You're going to advertise your business. Thank you, Spence. You're going to advertise your own business in your blog. They're going to know who that business is. They're going to see your own advertisements in there. You can put the little block ads on the side. You can set up those blogs really nice. Create and present original seminars. Now, a seminar doesn't have to necessarily be some big 6,000 people. You can go down to your local hotel, and I can tell you in Greenville, Texas, a hotel costs $300 for 60 people, for 60 chairs. They give you the big overhead projector. They put the chairs in there. They bring in the water. They bring in the tables, and they have someone greeting the guests when you come in. It costs $300 for one night. You say, well, Kerry, $300 is a lot of money. Well, set it a month out and go out and give tickets. Go give free tickets to about 1,000 businesses in your area. Better yet, you can for about $300 or $400 have those tickets mailed directly with direct mail to the business owners and invite them to come to that seminar. Out of 1,000 people, you're probably going to get more than 60. But you could do that while you're out introducing yourself to those people. You say, well, Kerry, I don't know if I could speak in front of them. Absolutely you could. You will be amazed when you're standing there as the expert, how it will just absolutely flow from your lips. And when you get done, you say, man, I don't even remember what I said. No, but I tell you what you said definitely hit the spot because now you got new customers. Speak at conferences. Put yourself out there as the expert and introduce yourself to speak at conferences that come to town. Everybody's always looking for speakers, and speakers are very expensive. I had a guy call me the other day, and he said, Kerry, if I set up something, would you come out and speak? I said, absolutely. It's going to be $350 a day. It's going to be my airfare, the hotel, and I'll be there. And, you know, people are looking for speakers. They're wanting you to come out and speak. Conduct original research, okay? Share the results and add your perspective on the findings. Go out there and do some research on mobile marketing. And then go into those blogs and put your information in there. Don't spam the blogs, okay? Don't feed it full of all your information. All you need to do is put your name on there. Because you know what happens when you put your name on articles that people read? Does anybody know what happens when people put their name on articles that they read? And some of you probably do this. You Google the name. And if you've got your own blog, okay, and you've got your own blog and you're starting to post on other blogs as the expert and you're starting to get everything out there and you're starting to put columns, what do newspapers put online? Their newspaper. Well, if you get lucky, they're going to start posting your news article online, and now that it's going to come up when people Google your name. So get that out there. Make it happen. Create a video. How many of you on here have a smartphone? And you can say yes to this. How many of you on here have a smartphone? Yes, 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 of course. Yes, yes, yes. Does anybody know what the #1 camera is today on the market? Anybody at all? Right again, the iPhone, okay? You have one of the #1, the S4. S4 is extremely good. My S4 camera is as good as my $1,500 Sony camera I got. Matter of fact, I use my S4 more than anything I got. You have the capability of creating a good quality video. Stand up in front of a curtain, behind a platform, make it look like you're giving a speech, and record yourself. For about $30, you can go get a tripod and a little thing that holds the camera and everything, okay? And you can sit there and create all the videos you want. Take a video of the seminar that you do. Practice your seminar on video and then go in there and edit it and see what it looks like. And post it on YouTube. And put the right keywords in there, okay? Mobile marketing seminars, whatever you're going to put in there, reputation management seminars, how to make money using SMS. I mean, there's all kind of things you can put in there and drop them in YouTube. And next thing you know, people are going to start seeing them. A lot of people think they got to spend a ton of money on videos. You don't have to do that anymore. I mean, the PCs come with free video software. And all you got to do is take your camera that you've already paid $600 for and shoot your video with it. Go in and edit it up just a little bit and start posting it. It doesn't have to be that great. Because what people want to see is, do you have the knowledge that comes along with the keywords that you're using? Okay? Develop podcast. How many of you got a phone that you can talk into and it creates an MP3? If you've got a smartphone, everybody on here can do that. How many of you watched the news? Anybody here watch the news? Did anybody here watch the news of this baby being born in Britain with all the media that was over there? Did anybody see that? If you didn't, you were dead. I was watching that the other day when the prince and princess, or whatever, the duchess or whatever they call her, walked out with the little baby. And I'll be honest with you, I watched it. I thought it was cool. And but everybody there that was there listening to them speak were holding their smartphones out, collecting it for the news media. Now, if that's not good enough to create an MP3, then there's nothing out there any better, because that's what people are using today. Watch when the president speaks. Everybody sticks their cell phones up there now, and they get the data right there on their cell phone, on their smartphone. And then you take that and you create a podcast. Now, there are sites online that do nothing but podcasts, and most of them are free. And you go in there and tag them just like you do anything else, and now you're becoming an expert, and people start listening to your podcast. And then they start expecting them every day or every week or every month or however often you do them. And you start getting a following. Write a book. Well, I bet you I get 50 offers a day for ebooks on Amazon. You can sell anything on Amazon today. An ebook, a 50-page ebook, okay? And that's front and back, 25 pages, 50 pages. And if you started writing tomorrow, taking all your expertise and start outlining it and then start putting words to it, I bet you could have a 50-page ebook written in just a couple of weeks. Your expertise is extremely important. And this gives you a medium to demonstrate your knowledge. Extremely, extremely important. If you don't remember anything I told you tonight, I want you to remember this. Sell your smarts, not your products. Your products will sell themselves when people know that they're buying from the foremost expert in the industry in their area. Without question. They want to hear from you. Everybody wants to hear from the person that knows. I hear from people every day that don't know anything. But you know what? I listen to them because when they call me or talk to me, they make it very well known that, hey, I'm the expert. Sell your smarts, not your products. Showcasing your expertise is the best way to differentiate your professional services company in a very competitive marketplace. If you want to be the best, you let people know you are the best. That's not arrogance, okay? Let it be fact. Let them know that you are the best. When you walk in a room, you command the room. When you walk into a room, you demand their attention. And I'm going to tell you, as you get going and as you start taking this on what I said tonight, you will be amazed at the change in your business and how people look at you. When you walk into a restaurant and everybody comes by and wants to talk to you. I've lived in this little town I live in for a while, and there's probably nobody here that I don't know. And sometimes I don't go places because I know that when I go there, I'll spend an hour and a half talking, especially at a restaurant, and my food's going to get cold. So I usually go somewhere where I don't know anybody. But I've done this for a long time in this little town that I live in. And that's what will happen to you. I told this story a long time ago, and I don't know if many of you here heard this story. Before I turned my roofing company over to my son, I used to pass out business cards everywhere. I mean, a business card cost me a penny, okay, or less. So I made it a point to walk everywhere I went. I had 100 business cards in my pocket, and I made sure when I came home at night I didn't have a business card and one left. And I'd gone in this restaurant, a big restaurant over in Dallas, and I walked in and I told the boys, I said, I want to show you something. I said, if you'll do this, you'll be extremely successful. And I walked in and I passed out every business card I had to every single person in that restaurant. It was about a year later I walked back in that restaurant. And I was sitting at the table with a couple of friends of mine, and this waitress walked over. She said, I'm not sure how I know you. She said, but I do know you. And she said, I don't remember what you did, but she said, whatever you did made an impact. She said, because I usually don't remember people. And I said, well, I'm not sure. I said, how long have you worked here? She said, about 2 years. I said, well, about a year ago, I was demonstrating for my boys how to pass out. She said, that was it. She said, we thought you were the biggest idiot in the room. She said, you literally passed out business cards to everybody in here. And she said, you know what I was telling the people that were laughing at you? I bet that guy makes a lot of money because he's not afraid to do what he does. And I said, that's not the important part. I said, you remembered me. And she said, you're right, I did. And that's how you get people to remember you, okay? It's very, very, very important because it is a competitive marketplace. Come to Dallas, Texas, and try to get in the roofing business. There's roofer on every corner. So they've got to know who you are. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. And Bruno, it's Carrie at InstantAppWizard.com. Now, real quick, I don't even know what time it is. It's about 5 to 9. real quick, is there anybody here? I would like to hear from some of you. What you do to show everybody you're the expert. We have a ton of people in the room tonight. And if you will raise your hand, other than Eugene, Eugene's hand stays up and you've got a microphone. Roger, hang on just a second, Roger. Do you have your mic on you, Roger? Tom? Jason? Let me go to Jason Laporte. Jason, you got your mic ready, buddy? Let me find you here. There you are. Hang on, let me grab my earbuds. Let me plug it in so that I can hear you. Okay, Jason, I'm going to turn your mic on. Can you hear me, Jason?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me? It shows that my mic is on, so.
Okay, I don't see you talking, Jason.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3.
You can hear Jason? Wow. Weird. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you just fine.
Okay. Well, that's strange.
Hello.
Jason.
I'm talking right now.
Okay, for some reason I cannot hear Jason.
Oh no. Keep talking. Can everyone else hear me?
Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Jason. I can't hear you, but I trust you because I think you're an extremely intelligent guy, and I've had a chance to correspond with you. If you would, share with the group what you do in your marketing and your expertise and how you get your business out there.
Well, the biggest...
Welcome to GoToWebinar, Web Events Made Easy.
Salesman. So that thing right there is one thing. It gives you practice. You know, you were talking about, how often do I give a speech? I give a speech, at least a 30-second speech, every single week. So it gets your name out there. People get to know you. You build relationships, and that's the biggest thing, is building that relationship. Also, whenever I introduce myself to a potential client, I also talk about my history. That fact that I have over 30 years of programming experience. Now, I know not everyone out there can say such a thing, but just concentrate on your own expertise and why they should go with you. For instance, my tagline at the end of all my 30-second speeches is, you don't just get an app, you get me. Can you hear me yet? I
can hear you now.
All right.
I like that. You don't just get an app, but you get me. That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't know what the problem was. You just started coming in here. But did everybody hear what Jason had to say? And I know that he's been in marketing for a long time. And Jason is he's a great guy. If you can tell when he posts in the groups, he knows what he's talking about. He's got a lot of knowledge of the industry. So, but Jason, I apologize. I didn't get all of that. I don't know why that didn't come out. I had to unplug and plug about 15 times, but I finally got you. Anything else to add, Jason?
Just, make sure when you introduce yourself is to, be confident. And, even if they have a mobile website, make sure that you push your service. The reputation management system is a big one. I've been pushing the different services lately in my networking meetings, and I've already got one where they already have a actually a pretty decent mobile website, but they're really interested in the reputation management system.
And that's a very good point. I'm glad you brought that up. I had that question this week from someone, and you know, the people already had a mobile app. When you sell the reputation management, the great thing about the reputation management system is you don't have to sell them a mobile app. Sell them the reputation management system, and they have the app feature that they can control the app with the reputation. They don't necessarily have to build that as a full-blown app. I mean, it's a reputation management application now, and that's all it is. They don't have to tie it into their other app. You don't have to tie their app into your app. That's a kind of a standalone system, and now you have the opportunity to sell it to them. But something else you have the opportunity to do is now you can go in and you can attach SMS to that as far as the marketing platform, and you don't have to necessarily market that app, but you can use that marketing platform without the app if they've already got another app. So there's many ways to package this deal and put it together, and and there's no doubt in my mind that Jason has figured that out.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I have.
All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate your time there. I'm going to snag a couple of these other people that raised their hand, and Jason, I appreciate your comments in the Facebook group, buddy. You're definitely a man of integrity, and I really enjoy reading what you post.
Well, thank you. And one last thing, one of the mottos of B&I is giver's gain. Be willing to give as much of yourself as you can, and you'll end up gaining a lot more business because people learn to trust you.
Let me give you an amen on that one, brother. I could almost stand up and shout on that one. That's awesome. Thank you very much, Jason. Hey, you have a blessed evening, buddy.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, somebody else here. I saw somebody. Roger. Raj. Give me a second here. It takes me a second to find everybody on here. Roger. If everybody else would use the hand-raising thing for me, it makes it a lot easier to find you. Roger Pineda, can you hear me, my friend?
Yes, can you hear me?
Absolutely, buddy. How are you doing?
Good, doing very well.
Tell us how you get your business name out there. What you do, buddy?
Well, basically, like I do almost, you gave me some real good tips tonight about doing some other things that I'm going to start doing. But the majority of my business is being built cold calling, door to door. And how I really work on getting the business, I normally do only 4 things when I walk in. Number one, I walk in, introduce myself, and these are the steps I do after that. Number one, I give a demonstration how the product works and how the QR code works. That's number one. Number two, at that point, I start to educate them what the mobile app and the QR code can do for their business if they get behind the program. And the third thing that I do, I inform them of what my competition is doing and what they're charging and why we make such a big difference. And number 4 is I express knowledge of the mobile app business. I'm really in tune with the mobile app. I read as much, listen to videos, as much information as I have, so when I'm speaking to them, I come across very good. Give you an example, I went into a store the other day, the guy right in front of me called his webmaster and said, hey, I got a guy here who wants to give me a mobile app, and I can hear the other guy said, I can get you the mobile app. And then the next question, does he know what he's talking about? And the guy on the phone that I was talking to on the phone said to the webman, yeah, the guy has total knowledge of what's going on in the mobile business. That shut the guy up real quick. So that's basically what I do. And I also really be real. I just be myself. And at some point in this presentation of my 4 steps, I also try to make them smile, or I'll say something to make them smile to break the ice. And that's basically all I do. And it's working out very well.
Do you find, Roger, that knowledge is power?
Oh, yes. Especially when I go into the features of the benefits of my product, when I demonstrate the coupon, when I demonstrate the radius with the reputation management, and I also show them things like, all right, not only is this a mobile app, but we can include like your Facebook, your Twitter, your Yelp, and videos on the program. So yes, the knowledge really does make a lot of difference. But I also want to tell the group tonight, you don't have to be over knowledge. You just need to know your product, how to present it. And on the competition, I don't spend more than 5 minutes on the competition. But by the time I get talking about the competition, they just look at me and say, we're going to do business with you.
And that's Roger. And I do business with you tomorrow, buddy. Well, thank you, Roger, for your time. I'm going to try to squeeze in a couple, 3 more here before we get off. I greatly appreciate you, buddy. And I saw where you had a great week this week. You sold 3, and you're just consistent every single day. And I love what you do, buddy.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if somebody else there would throw a yes up there real quick that they have something to add to our what you do to reach out to people, just anybody. There's been about 500 of these things go by, and I just want to make sure I get somebody that's wanting to speak, doesn't mind speaking. Anybody at all? I think I saw Tom. Let's see. Tom Miles. Let me go to Tom. Tom and I spend a lot of time on the phone together. Tom's been a good friend as a reseller. So hang on, Tom. Let me find you here, my friend. Can you hear me, Tom?
Yes, I can.
All right, buddy. Tell us how you. And I'm Tom. Let me tell everybody a little bit about Tom, if you don't mind, buddy.
No.
Tom was in the eastern side of the country. Then he moved over up into Portland, Oregon, one of my old stomping grounds back in my Navy days. And Tom, is it easy to say, or is it polite to say that probably in the beginning you struggled a little bit?
Oh, big time.
And Tom has realized that getting out talking to people absolutely solves the problems. And I'm going to let Tom tell you what he's doing, because Tom's business is really starting to pick up. And it's really exciting to hear what Tom's doing. So, Tom, go ahead, buddy. Tell us how you're doing it, how you're introducing yourself to the people in Portland and Beaverton and all those great cities up there in the northwest.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity, Kerry. I'm just going to start off with, and it took me a while to learn this, but the picture's right in front of you. And the hardest door to open is the car door. It took me a while to learn that. And it's really weird because I've been in sales all my life. I mean, I started when I was a very young man, 20 years old, selling restaurant equipment, going out and cold calling all over the place. Worked as a musician for many years. But setting all that aside, I've finally come across a method that I think is going to work. I've had just tremendous response the last 2 days, and all I've done is done what Kerry said to do, has said to do all along, is do a comparison of a mobile app and their desktop app. Up at the top, I put a little note that says which website do you think your mobile users would prefer to use. And then there's, at the bottom I put their QR code at the bottom. So that gives them the opportunity to not only see it, but they can then scan it to their smartphone. And it just makes it so much easier to talk to these folks. First thing they see is that picture, and they just all of a sudden, I haven't had anybody say, well, man, you know what you're doing. I just had them smile and say, man, that looks great. I didn't realize my website looked like that. I mean, there's just a number of responses you get from people. And today in particular, I probably got, now these people didn't sign, but I expect them to. 4 or 5 people are going to sign, I'm sure, before the end of the week. And I've got to the point now where I don't even cold call anymore like Roger does. I make sure that I get people that have an app. I go ahead and do their app. I do their mobile app for them, and then I do this comparison sheet. I don't even call them until I have that comparison sheet. I go to Office Depot. I print it out in full color for 47 cents a sheet. It's 8.5 by 11, and I'll tell you what, it's just made all the difference in the world. And I just want to say, Kerry, that all of your insight tonight is spot on. I mean, everything. People they just don't. Excuse me. I wanted to say one more thing. One thing that I decided not to do is go in like I'm some kind. And this is totally against what you're saying, Carrie, but I do it a different way. I don't try to act like the big expert because I don't consider myself to be a big expert yet. I'm learning, and I go in and I approach people and just let them know that I'm a small business owner just like them, and I've been a small business owner all my life. I've been in the restaurant business, I've been in the contracting business, and know how difficult it is to make a buck, and just getting them to realize that I'm there for them. I'm there to help them increase their bottom line. And by the way, I've got a very inexpensive way for you to get your foot in the door. They're very responsive, and I just can't thank you enough, Kerry.
Well, thank you, Tom, and I appreciate those kind words, buddy. You're the one making it happen, and you know, it's like I tell her, if I don't know everything, guys. Matter of fact, the majority of stuff I learn from you, and you know, it's an amazing thing what you folks have done, and you guys bless me every day with your knowledge and your abilities, and going out and making it happen. And I'm gonna tell you, you're right. The hardest door opens the car door. That's a saying I got from my youngest son when we were selling roofs, and that's what he would teach all of our salespeople. And you know what? You can drive around all day long, but if you don't get out and talk to people, it doesn't happen. And Tom woke up one day and he said, "Man, bam!" You know, that's so true. And Tom's turning everything around and becoming successful. And I know he's going to do a fabulous job and continue to do a fabulous job. And I appreciate you much, Tom. I'm going to bring a couple more people on. Thank you, buddy, for speaking up and sharing. And everybody's saying, "Well, what is this comparison sheet he's talking about?" And
Karen, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Listen, I'm gonna send it to you, and you can figure out a way to make it accessible to everybody.
Okay, yeah, just email it over to me. Maybe I can get it on this training before we sign off. If you can email it right now.
Okay, I will do that.
All right, buddy. Thank you, Tom.
All right, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Bless Eugene's heart, man. He's got a migraine. I know how bad it hurts because I get them myself. Anybody else like to get on and share their experiences, how they're building their business? See, what Tom doesn't realize is he's sharing that brochure with everybody. Anybody else like to speak up here before we call it a night? He's going to try to email that over to me real quick, Deborah, and I'll show that to everybody if I get that. Give me 1 second here. Tom, if you could just let me know when you email that, I'll check my email real quick and hopefully I can bring it up. But all you do is take a emulator, and you should all have an emulator. Let me find one real quick. Hang on just 1 second. This is an emulator. Hopefully it'll come up. It's probably going to be behind everything. No, there it is. And I'm going to come over here and let me pull up a website real quick. Let me just find one. And I know somebody's going to ask, well, what is that emulator? And I'll be honest with you, I don't remember. Let's pull this right here. Wow. Let me hit that, and I'm going to put this in here. Hang on, this lady's talking in my ear here. I'm going to pull this up. Sorry guys, I'm trying to shift around on the screen here. Can everybody see this right here? This emulator? Okay, and I'm going to put, I put this website in here. Sorry about that. My dog was asleep in my arms. You can see that this site is not mobile ready, okay? And you take a picture of that, and I use a print screen program called Snagit. And then I just take a picture of this with my little Snagit. Can everybody hear my dog? And then I can take that and I can put that on a paper. Let me pull Tom's up. Tom said he just sent that. Give me 2 seconds. There's some free Snagit pictures. I mean, Snagit tools out there, screen capture tools. And then you take a picture of the app from the emulator that's inside the control panel. This is pulling up here. Okay, so you can see here, this is on the right side is their app. Okay, this is what their app looks like on the right side. And this is the app that Tom built. Tom, that's a good looking app, buddy. You definitely got that down. Here's the app on the left-hand side that Tom built, the mobile version and the desktop version. Okay. Do you know that a mobile website can bring you more customers? For more information and pricing options, contact Tom Miles, Ready Mobile Solutions. And he's got the QR code here down at the bottom. All right. So this is what he's given to people. Hey, this is what you've got now. This is what I can give you. I will tell you, in my whole life of sales, there's one thing I've always said: simple is easier. And this is as simple as it gets. This is his brochure. All right. This is what he uses for his brochure. It's got all of his information on here. Now, even if I didn't make the sale and I went in and introduced myself, and I know Tom said he wasn't an expert, but trust me, Tom, just with the knowledge I see here, you're definitely an expert because you've got everything that they need to see. They can make a decision. Now, if they make a decision that their customers all see this, then they've made the wrong decision. They've got a good-looking app over here that Tom built that he can sell them, okay? And I don't know if all you can see, but Tom, I love what you did here. This is the basic app, okay? He didn't over-blunder it with a bunch of junk, okay? When I say a bunch of junk, a bunch of buttons that they don't need to see right now. Because those are your upsells, all right? It's not overburdensome. It's not going to scare them away. They say, oh, about us, contact us, directions, call us, email us. They understand that, okay? They understand that. And somebody said, can I see the bottom again? So he didn't scare them off. And they said, man, look, honey, you know, look what we can get. So very nicely done, Tom. Congratulations, my friend. That is awesome. And I'm so thankful that your business is turning around and things are moving for you. Does everybody see that? Can you post that on Facebook? Yes, I will post that. If Tom, you don't mind if I post that on Facebook, do you, buddy? I mean, it's his. I just need to make sure. I don't want to. Okay, he says no problem. No problem. So I'll post that on Facebook as soon as we get off of here. Okay. How many, Tom, the question is how many are you out talking to a day? How many people do you go out and talk to a day? Somebody always becomes a star, Tom, and it's you, buddy, tonight. 8 to 10. Talks to 8 to 10 people a day. And let me say something about Tom, and I won't get into this, Tom's always on my prayer. Tom's got some medical issues, okay? Tom's got some medical issues, but Tom goes out and makes it happen. He doesn't allow that to stop him from making that happen. And I pray for Tom every week, and you know, good Lord just allows him to have the strength to go out and do what he does, and bless him for it. But he talks to 8 to 10 people a day. And you're passing out your brochure. And I want to make sure everybody heard what he said. He doesn't go to somebody and give them some random pictures here. He gives them their app, okay? So he's building these apps, and he's putting their app on here, okay? And he doesn't overburden the app. It's the basic app. And now he's opened the door later for the upsells. He doesn't have 5,700 buttons on here to overburden it. I use Snapping Tool to get logos. Works great. Yep. Every IAW business owner is just one customer away from their biz taking off. The problem is no one knows where or when you will meet them. Sherry, you need to post that in the group, girl. Let me read that again, and let me read it to where you can understand what I said. This is from Sherry Claiborne, and let me tell you, Sherry Claiborne is extremely successful in the IAW business, in the app business. Every IAW business owner is just one customer away from their business taking off. The problem is no one knows where or when you will meet them. That's very powerful. Very, very powerful. Anybody else? It's always, and knowing Sherry as I do, and I can hear her saying this just very well as she's sitting there. So get out there. Anybody else? Any questions? Anybody get one more person on to share before we close out if anybody would like to share anything? Roger's price comparison list of competitors would be great to have for trial closes. Let me give you an example here, Ellen. And I don't mean this to sound rude, but I don't know if you live in Arizona, that would work great. But I can tell you prices in the areas are vary anywhere from $100 to $1,000 on apps, depending on where you're at. So let me tell you the best way to get prices on apps. Pick up the phone and call someone and pretend you're a customer, and you're getting prices for apps. Now I can tell you, I would get a Google Voice phone number before I do that, because they will absolutely wear you out. And the reason I know that is because I've done that. And I give them my Google Voice number, and that way it goes to Google Voice, and then I get an email that says I got a voicemail. So the best thing to do for price comparisons is to get the prices in your area. Go within about a 100-mile radius. Go online and do a search and do a price comparison in your area. And that will really, really, really help you. I hope that will help you, Ellen. Unless you're in Arizona, then Roger can share that with you, but I can guarantee you prices in Arizona are different. Okay, folks, I hope you enjoyed the training tonight. I really appreciate everybody that took time to speak and share, because, you know, I've noticed from the Facebook group, you are and I posted this the other day, you're the most caring people I've ever seen. You don't mind sharing with people. You don't mind sharing your ideas. You don't mind helping each other in that group. And that group is really, really a wonderful place to be. So I want to thank all of you again, publicly, as I did in writing on that group. Thank you for your help. Thank you for posting the answers. Thank you for helping those that might just need that little tip to get over the hill, because you're the ones that make the difference. You know, yeah, it's somebody posted the other day because Carrie said it. It's not because I said it. You know, all of you can say the same things. But it's the fact that we come together collectively, and I appreciate the person that said because Carrie said it. But collectively together, we will be massive in the app industry. And I don't mean Instant App Wizard. I mean Moby Advertising Group, Ready Mobile Solutions, and whatever your company name is, just fill in the blank, because you're going to be extremely successful. Sometimes it's just knowing which direction to go. And I hope tonight, when you wake up tomorrow, you'll have a new direction, and you'll start building your business, and everyone will know who you are. God bless you. Thanks for coming out tonight. And thank you, Tom. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for it. Yes, sir. And I'll continue to pray for you, buddy. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. Man, I love you. I can't tell you enough how much I love you. And you just remember this. Your success is our success. And our goal is to make sure you're successful. God bless. Good night. And I will see you next Wednesday. Actually, I'll see you in a group here in just a minute. Thank you, Sherry. I'm going to post this paper up there in just about 10 minutes. So good night, everybody. We'll see everybody throughout the week.